Okay, welcome back to another league with Black Green Rock. Again, running it through with Lurrus as a companion. Lurrus been really good in the leagues I've done. So yeah, happy to play him as a companion. We'd lose Liliana of the Veil and obviously losing Lurrus main deck, but I think at the moment it's worth the trade-off. So without further ado, we'll get into a league. Hope everyone's doing well today, and as always, if you enjoy the content, please do consider subscribing to the channel and letting me know what you like, don't like in the comments. Yeah, been happy with this rock list recently. Seems to be going quite well for me. Yeah, it is a shame to lose Liliana of the Veil, which is one of my favourite cards. But you do get to play with Dark Confidant, which is really good. Excited to try Abzan as well. It's just a rock with a splash of white. Either just a splash for some of the new cards coming out in Strixhaven, or going full Abzan again with some Stoneforge Mystics. But yeah, excited to try those out. Looks like we've impaired, so let's go for round number 1. Okay, we'll be on the play here, which is always nice. Yeah, hand's great. This hand's good against everything but like a hyper aggressive deck like Burn or Prowess. It's the Thoughtseize are okay against Prowess. So okay, so we get Force of Negation. Rather uncommon to see someone Force of Negationing a. Okay, so this is Living End. So we're going to want to Thoughtseize again, rather than try and jam a threat here, because next turn they could Electro Dominance us. So yeah, we're just going to Thoughtseize again. Okay, so my opponent doesn't really have anything, so we're just going to take the Restore Balance. Treetop Village not doing much for them. Sorry, we'll play Treetop Village. Yeah, Force of Negation not going to be doing too much for them against our hand, which is a lot of threats. So here, do we want to place? I think we're going to play Bob here. Let's play a Tomb tapped. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent found Brazen Borrower. So you know 2 of the cards in my opponent's hand. Okay, so I think we're just going to double threat here. Although I guess we could want to hold up Fatal, the fetch land for the Brazen Borrower, but I think I'd prefer to just play out the Scoos here. Let's go and grab another forest so that Scoos can be as effective as possible next turn. I would imagine there's this could be Brazen Borrower, it could be something else. Okay, just my opponent just going for Is It Charm there. We've got 2 cards in hand. So we're going to want to. Okay, so we get to untap with Bob, which is nice. We'll play the Bauble, and we'll play a land. My opponent can't cast Borrower end of turn, so before we do anything we'll attack. This Gargadon's still got a lot of counters on, so we could have attacked with Treetop there, but I think I want to get Lurrus to hand. We'll see what my opponent's drawing. They're drawing Valakut Awakening, which is a little scary. Oh, they haven't got too many cards in hand. Yeah, looks like they're going for like Awakening. It is an instant though, I think. So opponent doesn't have to do anything. Okay, we get another Bob trigger. See what he yields. Basic land, which is fine. Okay, so Brazen Borrower can't block Dark Confidant. So we'll just attack. And then I think, do you want to Lurrus? I think we're going to Lurrus here and then Scoos. Yeah, we'll cast Scavenging Ooze. And then I think we're happy to wait now. I would imagine my opponent's going to go for Valakut Awakening. Okay, so we draws 2 cards. I imagine they've put Force on the bottom, but it's worth finding out. Worth noting that we might want to keep this Bauble around in case my opponent goes for live. No, they're not Living End. It's oh yeah, of course. This is just Electro Dominance stuff. Restore Balance would be annoying here. Is Electro Dominance dealing 1 damage to Bob? Sure. Okay, that was it. So we get fairly lucky there. So I think there's no creatures in my opponent's graveyard, but I think we are going to start eating stuff because they do run Hour of... I can't remember the red spell that they can cast an instant and a sorcery from their graveyard. So I'm just going to go to work with Scavenging Ooze. And then we'll see what my opponent's drawing next. So they're drawing another Restore Balance. Okay, so we find Field of Ruin. So I think here we're going to... So we're hitting my opponent for 2-5. Okay, so I think we want to get my opponent dead as quickly as possible. So going for the 2-turn clock here. So we know they have Restore Balance on top of their deck. So I think we want to field their Fiery Islet. I don't think we want them drawing that just in... They could have another Electro Dominance, and the fact that they burned it so easily means they probably have another one. So I think we're going to cast... I think it's better to leave a creature in the graveyard. Opponent finding Greater Gargadon on top. That's obviously better than okay, yeah, so I think we navigated that fine. Yeah, my apologies for confusing it with Living End. You do see Electrodomic's limited, but this is obviously running none of the cyclers. So yeah, we were good to have the 2 Thoughtseize on top of our deck. In our opening hand, sorry. Right, so potentially Veil of Summer in here. Spell Bomb, I don't think we want Spell Bomb. We're probably going to want Collective Brutalities just to take all of the instant sorceries. All of the discard is good here. So Fatal Push is an interesting one. It can kill... if they're on the Rhino plan, Rhino plan, where I'm rubbish with names today. Crashing Footfalls that makes 2 Rhino tokens. They can kill that, or they can kill Brazen Borrower. But I think we'd rather have these. Engineered Explosives cleans up the Rhinos, as does Maelstrom Pulse. So we're gonna take that. Unravel can hit. That can hit either Leyline of Sanctity if they bring it in, or the As Foretold enchantment. Do we think any of this is bad? Abrupt Decay and Trophy hit the As Foretold. So these 5 are potential. I don't think I'm going to go the explosives route, just because it only hits the Rhinos, and we can't hit the As Foretold with it. Hex Drink and all the discard are great. I think we're just going to go with that. Veil of Summer's a bit iffy. They're probably cutting Force of Negation. We didn't really see. Yeah, maybe Veil of Summer's bad. Let's cut a Veil of. Let's just bring in one. Leave 1 Veil of Summer, and then let's go Unravel. I think my opponent will be bringing in Leyline of Sanctity. Okay, so this hand, yeah, if one of these lands was a threat, I think we'd keep this, but we don't want to keep that. This is, it's okay. It's not the best, but we can use the Bauble to dig for a land. We do have to be slightly wary of Blood Moon with this deck. So might be fetching basic Forest with this. But I think we're going to keep this. It's got the discard on 2. Although this is only instant sorcery, but we do have the answer to an As Foretold. Opponent's also mulliganed to 6. We'll be keeping here, and we'll bottom the pathway. I'm going to say we're a bit concerned with Blood Moon. So things we're looking for off the top. Okay, so there's the Leyline of Sanctity. So that makes our Collective Brutality worse, but we do have Trophy and Pulse that can deal with that. Okay, yeah, I was just about to exclaim that was a good draw, but obviously not at the moment. So we're going to bauble ourselves. Dark Confidant. So that's a bit of an interesting one. I think we're happy to keep Dark Confidant. We are in need of a threat. We probably won't be playing it next turn. Our next turn is probably Assassin's Trophying the Leyline, so that we can then hopefully find a land and Thoughtseize and Collective Brutality the next turn. See what my opponent does during their turn. They didn't fetch, which may mean they were short on lands. Okay, yeah, so I think my opponent's short on lands. They put one on top, so yeah, they were digging for land there. Okay, so we find another land, which isn't the worst. So we could play Dark Confidant here, because then we could trophy and Thoughtseize next turn. Yeah, I quite like that actually. I think that's fine, given that we've got this Thoughtseize now. I think that's probably better than waiting. Okay, opponent does have a bolt. Opponent only got 3 cards in hand, 4 now after the draw. Okay, so that makes it a little bit different. I think we want to now, we're going to Maelstrom Pulse the ley line. Just, we don't want to give my opponent extra lands with Assassin's Trophy. Okay, so that's a good draw. So we're going to start off by Collective Brutalitying. Yeah, that's a really good draw because we can put down threat. Okay, so opponent got a lot of stuff. We're going to take this as foretold with our Thoughtseize, and then I think given that there's 2 of these, I think taking one of these actually, because that would make the restore balance a little bit difficult for my opponent. Difficult one this. Because if we take a Crashing Footfalls, my opponent can't really restore balance, and then no, I think we're just taking restore balance. There's 2 Footfalls, and we can deal with these easier. We've got Maelstrom Pulse. We'll just take the restore balance, and then we're going to Thoughtseize the as foretold. Play the Hex Drinker. So you go. So opponent left with 2 currently uncastable Crashing Footfalls in hand and no extra land. Okay, Decay is pretty nice. We're definitely leveling this up once. It's tempting to level it up 3 times, but I think we're just going to bash in for 2 and then get Lurrus to hand. Okay, how many turns is there? Okay, there's still a couple of turns left on Crashing Footfalls. Opponent is getting reasonably unlucky and not finding lands. We're going to look to level Hex Drinker up to 3, give it protection. And then we can Lurrus and cast a Mishra's Bauble. Look at what my opponent's drawing, I suppose. They're drawing an Opt, so I would imagine they'll main phase that. Looking for lands. They do find a land. So they're getting to draw 3 cards next turn as well, which is obviously not ideal for us. So here, I think we're going to level Hex Drinker up. Yeah, this way we can put my opponent to 1. Unless they find a Lightning Bolt for... if they had a Lightning Bolt, they would have cast it. Need to put 3 more levels on, so let's just cast this. I think this is fine. And we'll attack. Okay, so restore balance doesn't deal with artifacts, so I think we're going to keep these lands in hand, and then yeah, we'll keep Mishra's Bauble on the field, so that if my opponent decides to restore balance, then we can... we're likely getting restore balanced here. So, do we want to crack the bauble now? The thing is, my opponent could find Electro Dominance and do it at instant speed, which would make... although we're not going to have to discard many cards, one would imagine. So, yeah, I think this is fine. Okay. So opponent needs restore balance really. Crashing Footfalls will not cut it. As foretold. Okay, opponent obviously found nothing and has conceded. So yeah, we get a good victory over the Electro-Dominance deck. So see you back again for round number 2. Okay, welcome to round number 2. We will be on the play again, which is always good. We'll keep this. It's got a good curve. Got turn 1 threat into turn 2 threat. Obviously a discard spell would have been nice, but can't always have that. So we'll cast this. Just might as well see what my opponent's on. Okay, so it looks like it's humans, which is a deck you don't see as much as you did a few years ago. Looks to get a lot of creatures with the human type out as quickly as possible. Oh no, my opponent's unfortunately accidentally auto passed through their turn, which is, you know, we've all been there on Magic Online. You just hit the wrong button and yeah, auto pass through your entire turn. We're going to play Bob here. Just Bob can keep the removal spells flowing, but well, you can, yeah. Oh, okay. My opponent is not actually on humans by the look of it, unless they're now running Watcher for Tomorrow. Which I would be surprised if they were. Okay, so we got choices here. We could level up Hex Drinker, or we could play Tarmogoyf. I think we're going to level up Hex Drinker here. My opponent's probably running removal of some sort. Yes, possibly Path to Exile. This looks like maybe Bant Ephemerate Control or something with Ephemerate in. I know Aspiring Spike's been playing a lot of that recently. Could be a Watcher for Tomorrow. No, 2 mana Wall of Omens. Okay, so don't think we'd like to draw like a Thoughtseize is good. We are kind of flooding on Dark Confidants. So Thoughtseize here. Okay, so they've got the combo in hand. Saheeli, Felidar, Guardian. They're short a land. If they play Saheeli, we can just Maelstrom Pulse it. Ephemerate is so annoying. I think here we're just going to take the Ephemerate. It blanks our removal. We'll attack all here. Opponent might decide they want to block the Dark Confidant. Yeah, so attacking all their guarantees, we get some damage through. And then what do we want to play next? It's tempting. I think we're just going to play Tarmogoyf. And then we'll fetch. We'll get a forest because we've got Scoos in hand. And then we'll level up Hex Drinker to go for lethal next turn. Okay, so my opponent found a land, but it's not a land that's able to cast Saheeli. So our Tarmogoyf gets Apparitions, which is not unexpected. Okay, so we've found a bauble which we'll cast. We'll see what my opponent's drawing, and that can inform our decision. So they're finding a land. So I think we're going to Maelstrom Pulse. If we Maelstrom Pulse the Wall of Omens, we could just level this up and attack for 6. Not the most. We're playing the land. If we level up, attack for 6, my opponent then has 1 turn where they can't do anything. Yeah, I think that's fine. Rather, if we could just attack, my opponent blocks. We are drawing a card from Bauble, so yeah, I think I'm happy to just level this up. Yeah, sort of engage the mini Progenitus mode. Okay, we just find a land. So my opponent is dead on board, and I don't think there's anything they can do. Yeah, unfortunate my opponent passed through their first turn. We would have had a lot more of a game of it, I think. I don't think there's anything my opponent can do there. Like if they could Felidar Guardian to flicker Skyclave, but nothing can target the Hex Drinker. So okay, so here I think we probably still want all of our discard spells. We want all of our removal. Don't want Niall's Spellbomb. I don't think. We do want an extra copy of Maelstrom Pulse. Is that all we want to do? Engineered explosives. Remembering we can only put that on 2. Is 2 going to be any good? A lot of their threats are CMC 3. Brutality is a potential. I think we'll run this and see how it does. Yeah, this is a fine hand. Once you realise that that this pathway produces green mana. Opponent's kept 7. Okay, they're on an Ether Vial draw. So we're going to execute the same plan as last game. Just Hex Drinker into more threats. So yeah, we'll just play this. We'll see what my opponent's drawing. They're drawing Felidar Guardian. So okay, so we find another Hex Drinker. Wall of Omens. No Watcher for Tomorrow. I'm trying to think what my opponent could have on 1 that punishes us for attacking with Hex Drinker. The only thing I can think of is I can think of 2 things potentially. Giver of Runes, but I wouldn't have thought they want to trade that for Hex Drinker, or Thraben Inspector. Okay, so we'll start off by attacking. Okay, and then we'll play a basic swamp, and I think we'll play Goyf here, mana efficient. Okay, so we've got some threats down. Ether Vial always a little scary. Okay, putting in a 2-drop. It's another Watcher for Tomorrow. Okay, so Maelstrom Pulse, potentially good here. But if my opponent found an Ephemerate, so they probably knew that there was something they wanted underneath this one. Wouldn't mind if my opponent's got another copy of Ephemerate, we're in trouble. Wouldn't mind them going for like a Wall of Omens here. But okay, they do. So we are going to get to kill the two Watchers, but puts 2 cards in my opponent's hand, which isn't ideal, and then they're going to draw another one from Wall of Omens. Okay, so will that make Tarmogoyf big enough? Play the Field of Ruin. Will it make Tarmogoyf big enough? It will make Tarmogoyf big enough to attack through this Wall of Omens, so at least Maelstrom Pulse deals with these at somewhat decent rate. Then we're going to just attack with all of our creatures. Yeah, usually feels good to get a 2-for-1 with Maelstrom Pulse, but yeah, there it's not so much a 2-for-1, I suppose. Opponent probably not going to block here. They've got an Ephemerate coming off. Although I suppose my opponent can... I think they can stack the triggers so that they can put a counter on Ether Vial and then Ephemerate that one. Okay, opponent, yeah, blocking there, which is fine. Oh yeah, of course they're always going to block the Hex Drinker. So we've got a trophy if we need it. We know that my opponent's got Felidar Guardian. Okay, they've got a 4th land. Okay, on thin ice, a little bit annoying, but we can trophy that if we need to. See what we draw. Okay, another land isn't really what we want. I think we may need to hold up trophy here because I'll play this. Yeah, we may need to hold up trophy here because if my opponent puts this up to 4 and then plays Saheeli next turn, we're in trouble. So I think we can just play Dark Confidant and pass, I think. Yeah, no point in attacking with Hex Drinker, just in case they've got a 3-drop to put in. End of turn, it might be tempting to trophy their snow-covered plains to get Tarmogoyf back. Okay, there's Saheeli. And we know they have the Felidar Guardian. Okay. So now... Yeah, interesting one now because opponent hasn't gone for the combo. Okay, so now we go for it. Oh yeah, because that can just flicker that. So yeah, now we trophy Saheeli. I suppose we probably should have waited for the trigger, because now my opponent could put in something else if they wanted. Yeah, we should. That was poor play by me. We should have waited for the trigger, because now this gives my opponent an extra card. Because if we'd waited for the Fellow Dark Guardian to come in, then target Saheeli. Yeah, just me jumping the gun a little bit there. Okay, so you get a draw of Bob. It's just a land. We find another Bob. So here, I think we're going to level up Hex Drinker. Just a 3. So that we can attack with it. Then I think we're going to play... If my opponent's got another Saheeli, we're dead. Anyway, so I think we're just going to play another Bob here, try and draw some more cards. But I think my opponent is probably sitting on another Saheeli, which just wins them the game. Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, so my opponent's got another Saheeli. So this flickers this, which brings this back. Yeah, that's thought they were targeting Hex Drinker then, but that is just game over. Hopefully it wasn't the extra card I blundered away to them. But okay, so yeah, don't think we really want to change too much else in. It's potentially enticing to bring in Rain of Tears to hit the land they use for on Thin Ice, but I think we'll keep it here. We would like to play first. Yeah, I think this is okay. It's not amazing, but it's got a lot of pressure in. We're on the play. We get to play Bauble. I suppose we could play Swamp here. I guess we'll look at the top of my library. We are finding a land, but it's a field we're in. So yeah, we'll just play Treetop Village here. And then this turn, play that. Now are we playing Tarmogoyf or are we playing Hex Drinker? I think we'll play Tarmogoyf. Oh, that's close. Okay, so yeah, we'll play Tarmogoyf here. And then next turn, wouldn't mind finding another land, green land, so we could play both of these, or yeah, see what happens. So could be on Thin Ice here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, another Field of Ruin. So how much do I want to try and sort of cut my opponent off mana? I think I'm going to field here and then play the Hex Drinker. Could be Apparition, which would be annoying. Okay, Bugler. So there's the Apparition. We're drawing a lot of Field of Ruins. So if we field, we can kill. We could kill this. Yeah, I think that's fine. So we'll play the field. So here we want to kill their land, hold priority, because then we want to fatal push the Bugler before they have land to ephemerate it. Yeah, we need to stop drawing lands now, really. So we have cut my opponent off red mana here, which is obviously okay. See what we draw. Okay, Scoos isn't bad. So I think here, is it? It's definitely Goyf. But then, is it Scavenging Ooze? Or is it Lurrus to hand? I think it's just Scoos, because then next turn we can Lurrus immediately play Bauble. Soul Herder is, yeah, that's really bad. We start making tokens, but yeah, Skyclave Apparition. Maybe we should have saved the Fatal Push for that. Yeah, so we're going to make a token here. Trouble is we can't really play Lurrus, I guess, until we have killed this field. Yeah, really not ideal now, because next turn we'll just end up getting okay, so well we can attack with Scavenging Ooze here. If my opponent chooses to block it with anything, we can pump the Scoos to a 3/3. If they double block, we would kill. I think. That's pretty gross. Yeah, that's really gross. Yeah, I think this game is slipping out of our hands, sadly. So Hex Drinker, then you need a lot of mana to level that up enough. Is it worth playing Lurrus? Or do we just want to play Hex Drinker? Thing is, Hex Drinker will just get eaten by the Skyclave, but so would Lurrus. Lurrus does get a Bauble out of it. Yeah, we're in a tight spot here. I think we're going to play Hex Drinker and level it up. Because then my opponent has to deal with it, but then my opponent won't really be able to attack through it. Although my opponent's going to struggle to attack anyway. We really need to draw like a fatal push or something. Could play. But I don't really want to throw the Lurrus away that cheaply. Yeah, we need to... Oh, my opponent's got Ephemerate coming. Yeah, I did forget about the Ephemerate coming off suspend as well. Yeah, we're getting got by this. Because my opponent can now just... Yeah, Skyclave Apparition was a very good addition to this deck. Yeah. We really need something to kill some of these creatures. Okay, 7. I think we just take this actually. Don't think I care about taking 7. We're at 20 life. Bugler as well. It's pretty good. And they find another apparition. So yeah, we need to draw Abrupt Decay, Trophies, okay. Fatal Push is fine. We find a land, which isn't what we want. So now we have to play Lurrus. For myself. That is a fatal push, so what we can do here is pass the turn, and then in my opponent's upkeep we're going to go for fatal push on the Soul Herder, I think. Okay, so we'll draw the fatal push, then fetch, get a swamp, and then yeah, I think it's got to be the Soul Herder. If they've got Ephemerate, I think we just concede here. No Ephemerate. Okay, so at least we're in it. My opponent has got a Skyclave in hand, which will take care of the Lurrus. Even worse, they've got an extra Skyclave in hand. Does this count as... Yeah, so Maelstrom Pulse is a good draw again. Yeah, Thoughtseize isn't bad either. So you can get rid of the other apparition. Ephemerate. Yeah, so that sounds like that was their draw for turn. Because otherwise they would have ephemerated the Soul Herder. Is that another apparition? Oh, we take the Saheeli. Could get in with... I think, yeah, getting in with Treetop Village is fairly appealing. Okay, so we'll have a 3/3 token, please. Yeah, so these tokens, we've got we've got like, what's that, 4 plus, we've got 8 powers worth of tokens that can't be apparitioned. We're not out of it. My opponent can ephemerate again, See what they find. Looks like they found nothing. Okay, so land. Okay. Abrupt Decay is interesting as well. So at this point, I think we just want to decay the apparition and get more tokens, don't we? I think we're attacking with some of our tokens. We can send the 3/3 in, and then we can decay if my opponent tries a double block. They are trying the double block, so we're going to want to kill the Bugler, and then we can decay the apparition, get ourselves another spirit. Spirit illusion. Yeah, the illusion eats the Bugler. So all of a sudden, we've got 4, 8, 9 power on the field. Okay, so in my opponent's upkeep, I'm going to field their steam vents. Don't know if they run basic mountain. We don't have any lands to search for. They do run basic mountain. Actually, I think they did show us that. So my opponent can flash in a Skyclave. I think we're just attacking all now. Yeah, get aggro here. Suppose we have to decide if it's worth playing this Dark Confidant. Okay, opponent's going for trading. Opponent goes to 6. Could be running a Wrath. Have we got lethal next turn even through a blocker? 2, 4. No, so we are playing the Bob. Although, I guess my opponent can just flash in the Skyclave and block the Bob. Flash in the Skyclave, kill the Bob. Yeah, we shouldn't have played that, I don't think. Although this does make them do it at instant speed. Sorcery speed. Okay, so they could have another spell as well. Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. Okay, we find a bauble. I think we're keeping swinging with the team. Depends what my opponent's found. Yeah, we shouldn't have played that Dark Confidant. They found another 3-drop. Could do that with a Bugler. Although, okay, another apparition. For no value is fine. So my opponent blocks the 2 biggest, takes 2. Okay, double blocking that one. I think that's probably reasonable. Okay, so yeah, we do get a 2/2 spirit out of it though. Illusion. Which is good. Okay, these spirits really... Illusions. We must stop saying that. Coming in clutch there. Yeah, we want to draw the card as soon as possible. My opponent's drawing... Yeah, that should be it. That should wrap up the game. Wow, I did not expect that. We've got there with these spirits and successfully turned the corner. That was a cracking game. Okay, so we just draw a land, but my opponent's drawing a blank too. We've got lethal with these illusions. Yeah, we get there. With no help from any of our creatures. Dark Confidant, Tarmogoyf, all being surpassed by these illusions. But you know, given where we were at the middle of that game with the Soul Herder blinking apparition so many times, I never thought we'd get out of that one, but we navigate well, and the illusions get there. Okay, well, we're 2-0. See you again for round number 3. Okay, round number 3, we will be on the play again. Doing well with the dice rolls this league. See who we're against. It's a Lurrus deck. Okay, so we've got a 1-lander, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of our spells are 1 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got Inquisition and 2 Fatal Push, which against the Lurrus, I think I'm going to keep this. If we find a land in the first couple of turns, I think we're good. If we find one off the top, this hand's really good. So I'm going to fetch Shock here to Inquisition my opponent. Okay, so it is Stoneblade. So, we're going to take Sigarda's Aid. No real question about that. It's the thing that, you know, they've got essentially 2 copies of the hammer, and Sigarda's Aid is what allows them to equip it. So we quite like a land here. Thoughtseize is okay. I think I'm just happier playing Hex Drinker. I don't think we need to Thoughtseize yet, given that we've got these 2 copies of Fatal Push. My opponent has a hammer and a Stoneforge Mystic in hand anyway, so if we Thoughtseize one of them, they'll just you know, they'll have access to one anyway. We'll see what they go and get with Stoneforge. Then we're probably pushing this Stoneforge. Okay, so they get another hammer. Okay, so yeah, we'll just Fatal. Do we want to Fatal Push or do we want to Thoughtseize? And are we happy trading my Hex Drinker for this Stoneforge Mystic? Stoneforge Mystic. I think we'll attack. I think I would be happy to take this trade. We just need to essentially keep their creatures off the field. So yeah, using Hex Drink as a removal spell isn't too bad. You know, we don't mind saving these Fatal Pushes. Yeah, we'll attack here, see if my opponent wants to take the block. I wouldn't be surprised if they took it. They don't really need the Stoneforge Mystic. I think if they don't take the block, we're going to push. And if they... yeah. So yeah, we're just going to push the Stoneforge. Because that kind of implies that my opponent wants to keep the Stoneforge around. Keeping Thoughtseize, at least one Thoughtseize back for when my opponent puts Lurrus in hand is a good idea. Another Plains and a Bauble. Okay, opponent puts Lurrus in the hand, so now we're definitely Thoughtseizing that. Okay, we find a Tomb, that's nice as well. So we could play Bob here, but we definitely want to just Thoughtseize away the Lurrus. So we don't really care about any of the other cards. So yeah, we'll just take Lurrus. So yeah, they've just got lots of copies of Colossus Hammer. I think we'll, well, we're going to shock in here. I think so. I think I want to put a level on Hex Drinker. Not sure that was worth it, but we've got a copy of Fatal Push and a copy of Maelstrom Pulse. Okay, opponent cycles their silent clearing. Steel Shaper's Gifts for cranial plating. Plays a Shadow Spear. So I think here, do we play Bob? I think I'm going to play Bob. Yeah, we're not a massive life total, but we're at 13. We want to find another land for this Maelstrom Pulse, really. Okay, Inkmoth Nexus is an issue. So now we have to hold up Fatal Push for that. We could if we find a land, we could Maelstrom Pulse the cranial plating. Mind a land from Bob here. Preferably a painless one. Oh, Tarmogoyf. Opponent knows what we're drawing. Okay, so we find a Hex Drinker. So we'll just attack with everything. And then I think we're just going to play another Hex Drinker and hold up Fatal Push, because there's some draws my opponent has that just kill us here. If they find Sigarda's Aid, we just die to this Inkmoth Nexus, so we're just holding up Fatal Push forever now. We're kind of telegraphing we've got Fatal Push, but we haven't actually got lethal next turn. If we level up this Hex Drinker twice, that's 2, 4. Oh no, that's 8. My mistake. Yeah, it's not quite. So we know 3 of the cards in my opponent's hand. I think we'll let this do damage to us as long as it's not lethal. That is lifelink, which is a bit worrying. So how big does that make it? That is 5 infect, and they do gain 5 life. That's difficult. I think we are going to Fatal Push now, because we'd have to next turn anyway. Actually, we'll let them attack so that they can't use the mana from Inkmoth Nexus. Okay, so find a land. Field of Ruin. That is probably our best draw. Yeah, we're just going to hold up. Yeah, Field of Ruin, really nice there. Obviously just dealing with Inkmoth Nexus for essentially for free. Obviously we could have thought about fielding and then what's it called? Thought seizing, or playing another Hex Drinker. Ooh, opponent got Unearth. Okay. so opponent goes and gets another Colossus Hammer. Do we field now because they can do it at instant speed? They can't level Hexdrinker up enough. Yeah, I think we field now to take care of the threat, and then we're going to Maelstrom Pulse the Lurrus. It does let them play 2 Colossus Hammers, but I think we want to use our mana. Let's go and grab a swamp. If we find something like Fatal Push, I think we just win here. Abrupt Decay is nice. Don't think that quite wins us the game, because we're short a little bit. So, although, yeah, if we decay the Lurrus, attack with everything, I think that's fine. Yeah, decay Lurrus, attack with everything. My opponent's at 2. They can equip the Stoneforge Mystic. So we would have been fine with just Maelstrom Pulse there. Okay, this Hammer Time deck does grind well, but we do get to bring in Engineered Explosives, which is amazing here. Unravel the Ether and Maelstrom Pulse obviously good as well. We don't want Spell Bomb. They are running Lurrus, but it's not really worth it. Yeah, we just want anything that kills creatures, really. Discard is interesting. It probably is good. Is there anything else we're considering? Rain of Tears kills their Inkmoth Nexus. I don't think we've got time for Night's Whisper. And I think we possibly want to cut some number of Thoughtseize effects. So Brutality can kill creatures, which is interesting. What about Scoos? What do you think of Scoos? Scoos is fine. It can gain us some life and it blocks. Let's go with this. Yeah, hand's great. It's got, an Inquisition. It's got Fatal Push. It's got the Engineered Explosives, which is just insane. It's got a couple of threats / blockers. Got 2 lands. Yeah, fan of this. Opponent mulligans. Let's do it. Ornithopter. Okay, so opponent searching for Colossus Hammer. Sure. Okay, so I'm just going to lead on basic Swamp and Inquisition. Okay, opponent hasn't got too much going on. We're just going to take the Pure Steel Paladin. It's what enables their combo. Okay, they play a Colossus Hammer. Have I mistracked this? Because they revealed Colossus Hammer. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so we draw another land. I think we're okay to... Time of Growth's a 3/4, but Scavenging Ooze does deal with Lurrus things, so I think we're going to play the Scavenging Ooze. That's a good point with Scoos, actually. Yeah, it removes things for the purpose of Lurrus. Looks like this is Lurrus to hand. Okay, there's a Bob, which is pretty nice. So, yeah, we're just gonna... We might wait until and let my opponent cast Lurrus, but we'll play Bob here, and then I think we're just passing. We could attack with Scoos. Yeah, I think we're going to attack. So my opponent casts Lurrus will Steel Shaper's Gift again. Okay, so that's a bit worrying, but okay, they're on the plating plan. Ooh, Pure Steel Paladin. That's not great. But they can't equip at instant speed. No, we're not blocking here. Bit surprised my opponent didn't go for some sort of equip. Okay, Blooming Marsh and Assassin's Trophy, that's nice. So, yeah, we're just going to do this right now. And then play Blooming Marsh. And then I think we'll just... I don't think we want to attack with everything, just in case we get got. So, I think we'll just attack with Dark Confidant, leave back a fair-sized blocker. So opponent holding Lurrus in hand. We know the exact contents of my opponent's hand. They've got Lurrus, Cranial Plating, and now One Unknown. But we've got some powerful cards in hand. Okay, Giver of Runes is a little annoying. Looks like Cranial Plating. Okay, so here we either eat the Pure Steel Paladin. Our Engineered Explosives on 1 deals with a lot of our problems here. So we can EE for 1, kill the Giver and the Colossus Hammer, and we can still trophy something, because we'll have, next turn we'll have, yeah, okay, so we'll just eat the Pure Steel. And we're drawing an extra card from Bob, which is nice. Do we crack right away is the question. Fatal Push is really nice. So, yeah, I think we're going to attack with just Scavenging Ooze. Yeah, just Scavenging Ooze. Opponent can't do anything. And then EE on 1. Seems good. Kills Giver and Hammer. Do we crack it right away? Would stop my opponent attacking with these through our board, but we do have... Yeah, I think I'm just going to crack it now. I think we want to hold up double forest. It's got rid of the hammer. I mean, obviously Lurrus can cast it again. Bit loath to trophy anything because we don't really want to give my opponent a land. They're sure as soon as they find a land, they can Sigarda's Aid. Sure, we might trophy that. I don't think we care about Fatal pushing this really. No, I think that's just fine. I think we're just going to start eating things from my opponent's graveyard that we want to remove. We could have trophied the Sigarda's Aid. That's fine. No, we're drawing 2 cards a turn. If we can find an Inquisition that or a Thoughtseize, that would be great. Just to get rid of my opponent's Lurrus. Although with Scavenging Ooze, Lurrus is less of a problem. Scavenging Ooze actually pulling a great deal of work here. It's gained us 3 life, stopped my opponent's Lurrus being too effective. At some point we can get our own Lurrus and then we can cast Engineered Explosives every turn. In fact, depending on what we draw, it might be the turn for Lurrus this turn, just holding up. If we find an untapped land, it might be Lurrus time because then we can still hold up push and trophy. Although my opponent is at 7. Hold on, yeah, my opponent's at 7. So if I just push the Memnite, they just die? Push them because they're at 7, 5, 6, 7. Let me just double check and triple check. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I guess there. Well, good win against Hammer Time there. We're 3-0. See you again for the next round. Okay, welcome to round number 4. We'll be on the draw this time. Luck's run out. Yeah, I think we're going to keep this. It's got 2 lands. You know, no green source is a bit. If this was something that makes green, that would be ideal. Right, what is this? You gain 2 life. Okay, some sort of life gain deck, maybe? Okay, we're finding all of the discard. Let's see what's going on in my opponent. Okay, they're finding Teleria West. So not really sure what's going on here. Okay, so it's some sort of Titan deck. Oh yeah, it's just Titan. Weird that they're running this instead of Radiant Fountain. Is it really worth? Well, so my opponent is not going to be able to cast Arboreal Grazer next turn, so we're just going to take the Pact. Get to know my opponent's draw steps. This Field of Ruins is going to be great. Oh yeah, we're always happy to draw more Field of Ruins. Yeah. So the plan is, I think, to Thoughtseize away the Path to Exile, probably. And then Field of Ruin, their bounce land. I guess they could Vesuva copying. Does Vesuva into tapped? It does. So there's the Sanctuary. So we know they've got a land. And they're drawing Simic Growth Chamber, so another bounce land. Drawing green cards is not really what we want at the moment. We want a threat, ideally. But, okay, so haven't really got much choice here. Thoughtseize. We have to play out the Field of Ruin here, which is annoying. We're going to take Arboreal Grazer this time. Because otherwise next turn they can ramp for a mana. And then we're going to probably Thoughtseize the Path, just because we don't want... Well, if something like our Skews gets Path, I'm not sure how much we care. Okay, so we'll play the Field of Ruin, and then we'll just hit the Selesnya. Can we do anything clever with my opponent when they play a land? I don't think so. Just going to hit it now. We'll go and get... Oh, we do have to get a Forest, which is a bit... Oh, no, that's fine. Oh, yeah, of course. We can do... Now that we've drawn Hex Drinker, we can do Forest and play Hex Drinker. If my opponent decides they want to Path to Exile Hex Drinker, I think I'm fine with that. So we've got another field, which we'll probably use on this Growth Chamber this turn. Okay, opponent holding up Path to Exile. Well, it's going to attack for 2. Okay, opponent deciding to use the Path. So we'll go and grab a Swamp. Play another Swamp. And then, yeah, we're going to just hit this Growth Chamber. I think we've got another, I'm pretty sure we've got another basic. We are out of basics now, but okay. And then we'll just play this Tarmogoyf. Okay, my opponent is on turn 5 and they do only have 2 mana. Our Field of Ruins really really doing work there. That's Vesuva. Okay, so it comes into play as a copy of that, gains my opponent some life. Okay, so we're just going to attack. Probably should have Thoughtseize first in case they have like a Karn in hand. Would have increased the size of our Tarmogoyf. Okay, they do just have lands. So we'll play another Goyf and a Bob. And that's quite a clock. 12 power on the field. And we're drawing an additional card. Okay, opponent has found an amulet. So are going to have quite a lot of mana. So next turn they may be able to pull something together with bouncing Talaria West to transmute. I think we're just... do we want to fetch... We could just play Lurrus here. Play Lurrus, play Bauble. Or we could play Hex Drinker, level it up to 4. Or we could play Hex Drinker. Yeah, I think we're going to play Hex Drinker. Level it up. And then, yeah, I think we're going to play Skoos as well. You know, we want to put as much blocking power on for a potential Primeval Titan as we can, I suppose. Can't be Supreme Verdict, is it? Looks like my opponent has found a Primeval Titan. Less. No, they'd have to, if they bounce. Oh no, they didn't. Oh, they have found Primeval Titan off the top. So if they give it double strike and trample, double strike and I think we lose here. I think we lose here. +2 +0, so it's going to be 8. Although, given that Vesuva's on the field, oh, that's really irritating. Yeah, opponent finding the Primeval Titan. I don't know. Oh no, double strike is 16, so we have got enough power to block. It's if they can give it another Slayer's Stronghold, but I don't think they'll be able to. But then we can't quite get there actually on the swing back. Don't know, we'll see what my opponent does. Okay, so my opponent, Bajuka Bog's annoying. So, but we don't actually have to block now. In fact, I think we don't block because then we just get lethal. Yeah, I was thinking my opponent could get Sunhome or whatever, Fortress of the Legion, and give it double strike, but they haven't got enough stuff to do. Got enough mana. Okay, there is a blocker there. So I feel like we're just taking 8 here. We go to 4, and then we can attack back. Hex Drinker can be 6, and then they block these 2 and we win. They block the 2 other biggest ones. And then we deal them 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I think we're just taking haste and vigilance. We have got enough to kill the Titan, to be fair. So if we block, my opponent loses the Titan, and then we can attack, but we don't have lethal. I think we want to keep these creatures around. If we block, and then my opponent has Dismember. We know they've got a lot of lands in hand. Yeah, block doesn't really do anything for us, I don't think. I think we're going to go for it. Just take 8 here. If my opponent has a creature, that's a bit worrying. Oh, did forget about Bob. We haven't got anything in our deck that kills us. Okay, Field of Ruins, okay. So we'll play Field, I suppose, but I think we're just leveling up Hex Drinker. And we can make Skoos one bigger as well if we need to. I think I've done the maths right here. This hits for 6, block these 2. Yeah, this would be lethal as long as my opponent doesn't have Dismember. Yeah, we get there. Okay. So, Field of Ruin really doing work there. So what don't we want? We don't want Spell Bomb. We definitely want Rain of Tears. Potentially Unravel the Ether. Potentially Maelstrom Pulse. I don't think we want Night's Whisper. Fatal Push is interesting. I think we might cut 2 copies of Fatal Push. It kills the Dryad and it kills a Sousa. I think this is fine. I want to keep all the discard in. Abrupt Decay can hit Amulet. Abrupt Decay also hits their creatures. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. Lurrus is a companion. This hand is not good against something like just like a land heavy quick Titan. So like, well, it's okay against an Amulet, I suppose. I think we're going to keep it. You know, it's got Inquisition into Tarmogoyf with an Abrupt Decay. I think we'll go with it. Got fairly painless mana. Okay, so this could be Veil of Summer. But we have to get through Veil of Summer at some point. Field of Ruin's an excellent draw. So we're possibly going to get Veil of Summer here. No Veil of... this is a slightly different list to what I've seen before. So they've got Double Path, Grazer that they declined to play, and a Dryad. Timely's interesting. I think we're just going to take the... They haven't got many lands, so taking these is less important. We do have the Decay for the Dryad. I guess we'll take a path. I think we need to, you know, get through a threat at some point. Okay, opponent plays Castle Garenbrig and a Grazer. Have they found a land to put in? They have. Okay, so we know the contents of my opponent's hand. Right, so another Marsh. It's kind of tempting to shock in here just so my opponent doesn't have the Timely trigger. Although life we don't really care about. We're probably going to get Path to Exiled here, but we have to fight through it at some point, and it does kind of ramp us into Lurrus, which we like. Yeah, here's the path. So let's go and grab Swamp. Yeah, I didn't want to draw that basic there really. So this could be the Dryad. So I think we're happy to just decay that. I mean, it cuts off some of their mana. I think we're just going to decay because I don't want to give... Oh no, my opponent's used the path. We don't know what they've got in hand. Yes, I think here... Are we going to hit the Garenbrig? I think so. Just puts my opponent another turn away from casting Primeval Titan. Possibly should have played around Veil of Summer there. Okay, that's a bit annoying because we could have done with Field of Ruining that, really. Fatal Push isn't amazing. I guess we'll play Verdant Catacombs and leave it uncracked because we might want to Fatal Push an Azusa or another Dryad. Opponent got 5 mana now. Yeah, we'll Fatal Push that. I think. Opponent got 2 cards in hand. One of them's a Timely Reinforcements. Yeah, we haven't drawn. I think we've only drawn that one spell. Wouldn't mind a Bauble. Unravel. Okay. Yeah, having to play Lurrus for no value is kind of rough. But play the Blooming Marsh here. Playing Blooming Marsh there instead of Overgrown Tomb because it always comes in tapped. Oh, it's not another path, is it? That's frustrating. Unravel the Ether, worth noting, that does deal with Dryad as well because it's an enchantment creature. Okay, so opponent got enough mana now to cast a Titan. Oh, the turn after. I think we'll play this and then see what my opponent's drawing and hope it's not a Titan. Bajuka Bog, sure. Didn't play a land, but Maelstrom Pulse. That's going to be handy against the Timely Reinforcements potentially. Opponent just looking for a Titan and we're just looking for a threat. Thoughtseize. Well, yeah, we'll Thoughtseize. You know, my opponent's going to play whatever they top deck anyway. Let's take the Timely Reinforcements. Play a land. So you go. I mean, if we can find a Hex Drinker, it's going to be a Progenitus right away. Okay, opponent finding a lot of lands as well. All we really need is a Tarmogoyf or Tarmogoyf, Hex Drinker, any creature really. Yeah, Bajuka Bogging themselves makes sense there. Okay, Bob is quite nice. Hopefully opponent hasn't got any removal, because this on an empty board at this point in time will probably do very good work. 3 mana Tireless Tracker. Yeah, okay, so that's something that we're going to need to use our Maelstrom Pulse on. Okay, so cracking that doesn't give them enough mana to cast a Titan. What? Engineered Explosives. Oh, that's very annoying. Because we're not going to get any cards from Bob now. Okay. Field of Ruin again. Okay, so we just need to pulse this. And we're going to play Field. I think we can save that now for a special land off a Titan. The one that gives it haste, for example. Oh, that's not good. There is Primeval Titan. We're going to struggle to beat that. A top decked Assassin's Trophy is good. Yeah, not only the turn after we've used my Maelstrom Pulse. Okay, don't think we want to hit this. We could hit the Teleria West here, which I think we will, because we don't want my opponent to be able to bounce the Teleria West with Simic Growth Chamber to get another Primeval Titan. So yeah, we're gonna need to find something big here. So anything that kills the Primeval Titan's nice. Inquisition certainly doesn't kill the Primeval Titan. Guess we shouldn't auto yield in case my opponent finds a amulet. Yeah, I feel like we haven't drawn many spells this game. Don't think my opponent can kill us here. Okay, there's a Teleria West. Yeah, I don't know how we get out of this one now, because there's a backup Titan in my opponent's hand. Well, if they, yeah, so we can't. Well, it's not a backup Titan yet. We've drawn a Thoughtseize, so that's not really any good either. My Inquisition, just see if they've got anything that we need to be aware of. Because we're not going to have long. 3 mana. What is my opponent doing? Beast Within. Okay, so right. So so my opponent's got 9 power on the field. Don't think there's any way we can draw out of this now. Okay, transmuting 4 Summoner's Pact. What are they pacting for? Another Titan. So my opponent attacks with 1 Titan and the beast. We go to 2. Yeah, we'll just see what lands they get here, see what. So they are running Valakut and they are running, yeah, we knew they'd be running those. I think we can just concede here. Maelstrom Pulse killing the Titans doesn't save us from the beast. Yeah. Okay, so that obviously not ideal. Feel like we drew a lot of nothing there. but that's the way it goes. So yeah, I think we just ship it back. We're a little unlucky to lose the Lurrus straight away. We would like to play first. Yeah, we'll keep this. It's not stellar, but it's got a Field of Ruin and 2 threats. So, and we can kind of scry with this bauble as well. Opponent's mulliganing. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Cast these baubles. And then we'll look at ourselves and see if there's anything we want on the top of our library. Treetop Village, no, we're not interested in that. So it's not going to be anything I don't think that we want to play on turn 1. So we can just pass the turn. I think I'm going to save this bauble to do the same trick with this other fetch land. Okay, Thoughtseize is quite nice. But I think we're going to play a threat first. Unless we drew another, so we could draw if we could draw Hex Drinker or another discard spell. Actually, are we going to want to Thoughtseize first anyway to clear the way for this Bob? No, I think that's fine. I think we'll wait. We'll wait on this Thoughtseize and give them the maximum opportunity to draw Primeval Titan so that we can. Okay, so there's an Inquisition on top. I don't think we want that. I'm a bit conscious of our life total, but we have got Scavenging Ooze. I think getting basics is fine at the moment because we can get one off Field of Ruin as well. That's a good point. Next turn we're going to want a Field of Ruin for a swamp to Thoughtseize. So go and put Dark Confidant down. Obviously we probably won't Field of Ruin if my opponent doesn't play a bounce land. As in we won't activate Field of Ruin. If my opponent doesn't play any lands we want to hit, we'll just Thoughtseize and then play either Goyf or Dark Confidant. Could play Skoos. Choosing to play Dark Confidant there, I think at this point in the game the cards that we get from that are potentially worth more than the potential extra damage from Tarmogoyf for a turn. Okay, opponent got Summoner's Pact for a Souza. So what does this mean for us? So we find Fatal Push and another copy of Thoughtseize. Okay, so we're a bit punished for not getting a swamp. So we'll play out the land. Do we Field of Ruin then Thoughtseize? Or do we just Thoughtseize play Tarmogoyf? So if we Field of Ruin, that cuts them off a mana. I think we're going to Field of Ruin. I think we're okay to do that. Go and grab a swamp. Yeah, just because we want to cut my opponent from as much mana as possible. And then, I mean, my opponent is going to have to... Oh, yeah, I should have thought about that. My opponent's going to have to pay for pack next turn. Crikey. Okay, so we're going to Thought Seize the other one of these, but we'll take the slightly easier to cast one and then pass the turn. So opponent doesn't have another land in hand, and we have taken them back to 4 mana, which they do have to pay all of. So wouldn't mind Bob finding us another, maybe a fetch land, so we can triple spell next turn. Okay, so opponent has found a land, they can play it all, and then we're just gonna Thought Seize away their turn timber thing. Fetch land, please, Bob. Blooming Marsh is a land. Double Blooming Marsh isn't really what we want. So yeah, we'll Thought Seize, take the turn timber, and then play. Yeah, Tarmogoyf hits harder. Pass the turn. So opponent's got 0 cards in hand, but they do have 3, 4, 5, 6 mana, so they can just cast a Primeval Titan. Yep, which they instantly find, which is not ideal. Guess they probably go and get Bajuka Bog. Yeah, we needed to fade that for a couple of turns, really. Okay, yeah, getting Teleria West as well. So now we could do with finding Maelstrom Pulse or Assassin's Trophy. None of which we find. I think we just dump power onto the field in order to block a Primeval Titan. So those 2 Goyfs take care of that. Do we want to play Hex Drinker? I think we'll play Hex Drinker here. And level it up. I guess we could wait and push a Sousa if one of my Goyfs dies, but okay. Opponent does have to pay 4, but that leaves them with 1, 2, yeah. Leaves them with 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. We know they've got Teleria West in hand. These Goyfs are pretty good. I would imagine, well, we might see Primeval Titan attack, get Bajuka Bog, which would shrink the Tarmogoyfs by quite a bit, actually, if they bog us. 4 mana. Okay, transmuting. Probably just for another Summoner's Pact. So we wouldn't mind finding a discard spell for that. Could get Engineered Explosives, I suppose. Yeah, it's probably Engineered Explosives. No, they have gone for another Summoner's Pact. I suppose they could cast it now. No, they can't quite cast it now. Then, okay, opponent attacking. Probably getting Bog. So if we can find a Thought Seize, would have to be Thought Seize because Inquisition just makes them use the Pact, but it would potentially stop them casting. Okay, so Goyfs are down to 4/5s, so yeah, we're just going to double block here. So opponent kills one of our Goyfs, but we do get to eat the Primeval Titan. Bit surprised my opponent didn't go and get maybe one of the Sunhome things, because then they could have used it next turn for their other Primeval Titan. But there we go. Okay, another land. Field of Ruin. So we could field one of these, but that doesn't really help us anymore. We could, I think we're playing Field of Ruin. And then play Scavenging Ooze. Play Scavenging Ooze. I think we can attack with Tarmogoyf. We could push a Sousa, level this up twice. If my opponent finds an amulet, that leaves us in trouble. But we know they've got summoners. We know they've got, yeah, if their last card is exactly amulet, we die potentially. So we field this, push this. I think we have to put damage through at some point. Yeah, so I think we're just going to field this. Is that worth it? Field that, push a Sousa, get in for some damage. Yeah, I think we're going to go for that line. I guess if my opponent's last card is Dryad, we're equally dead if we don't do it this way. So it doesn't let us attack through. Yeah, I think we'll push a Sousa. Well, we've got Revolt. And then attack with everything. We know that my opponent's going to play another Titan next turn. Okay, opponent blocking there, which is fine. So we're going to eat something with Scavenging Ooze. So opponent, yeah, we just need them to not have amulet. They didn't show it to us last game, so they may have sideboarded it out. I know they do sometimes against black-green decks. Okay, so we did. Yeah, so this might just kill us. Possibly should have saved the fatal push actually. So they're going to get 2 triggers. Oh no, they can they can get Vesuva. Yeah, we're probably dead now because my opponent just gets Vesuva and another Valakut. And is that enough damage? Not quite, actually. Okay, so they didn't get Vesuva. I think Vesuva would have just killed us. Oh, they can play another land. Yeah. Have they played a land this turn already? Did they play a land first? If they didn't, we're just dead. Oh, that's really annoying. I think we did that fine. I think maybe we, yeah, I think pushing the Asusa was wrong. Yeah. I think pushing Asusa was wrong. We should have saved it for this. But my opponent had to have quite a lot of stuff go right for them. There. So, yeah, I think, you know, their last 3 cards were you know, they only had 2. So their last 3 cards were Titan or Summoner's Pact, Dryad, and Bounce Land. I think that's the only way we die there. And then we draw Abrupt Decay, yeah, so we would have drawn Abrupt Decay, decayed this. Well, we would have drawn that from Bob. Decay, yeah, we would have probably won that game. But there we go. That's how it goes. I think it was, I think it was loose pushing the Azusa. We should have played to this eventuality. But there we go. Live and learn. I think, we'll think about that a bit more carefully next time. So we're 3-1 now. Let's see you again for round number 5, going for the 4-1. Okay, round number 5. Let's see how we go. We're against a Yorion deck. We're going to keep this hand. It's got Inquisition into Tarmogoyf. This is probably the Niv Mizzet stuff. Okay, so we're not... That changes our approach. We're just going to Fatal Push here. And then next turn, see what we think. We've got Decay, we've got Goyf, we've got Inquisition. Okay. So I'm going to Inquisition because I'm afraid of Teferi Time Raveler. Okay, Resto Angel. I think we'll just take Path because we can decay the sword and play Treetop Village and pass. Okay, sword. Play the Bauble. I think we'll Bauble ourselves. See if we want to fetch or not. Field of Ruin. Yeah, we definitely want to fetch that away. So we'll just go and grab... I think we'll just get Tomb tapped. Play the Tarmogoyf. So 5/6. Well, I thought Caesar's pretty good. Stops any... stops any shenanigans with Restoration Angel. Play this Forest. I suppose we'll Thoughtseize first. This way, if we don't want to attack, they block with Wall of Blossoms, and then blink it in response. So we get, we get the worst of both worlds. They get to do their stuff, and we don't get to swing in for 5. Okay, so this is looking like a Restoration Angel, so it's going to blink this. When we could decay it, I think we're interested in seeing what they're going to draw. Utopia Sprawl, sure. So we could have decayed there to stop them drawing a card. We're going to definitely take the Apparition there. And then we'll crunch in with the Tarmogoyf. Apparition is just an insane card. I think actually we'll let my opponent, if they want to if they want to use their mana to attempt to equip the sword, I think we're fine with that. I think we'll let them equip it as well, and then let them attack with it, so that we can swing back with the Tarmogoyf. Actually, we can swing back with the Tarmogoyf and the Treetop Village. Opponent's shocking in. Oh, that was a very good draw from my opponent. We're not drawing anything either. So, how aggro do we want to get? My opponent. So they got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they can't do Yori on next turn. So either field and put Lurrus in our hand. I'm assuming they run enough basics, or we could double field, try and take them off lands. Don't mind that actually. Or we could just treetop village, attack for 8. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think we're going to do that instead. Well, the opponent hasn't really got anything. Okay, opponent doesn't block, which is a bit worrying. Playing the Field of Ruin there, so that we can potentially double field next turn. Opponent got 3 cards in hand. Our Raging Ravine is lethal. This could be Apparition, which is always annoying. Yeah. Okay, we're taking 5. So we could Lurrus Bauble. That's an option. Opponent has got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they didn't get any 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So next turn, if they find a land, they can potentially Yorion, which is obviously pretty devastating. We could attack with Treetop. So we've got choices here. We either attack with Treetop Village, play Bob, or we could get Lurrus, play Bauble, or we could field a load of times. How much are we taking? 3, 4, 5 potentially. My opponent could have something like a bolt. I think we're going to attack with Treetop, play Bob. I think that's the plan we're going for. Because then my opponent has to block. We get a 2/2 back. Oh, they found Path to Exile as well. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll play the Bob now and pass the turn. Yeah, if my opponent finds, yeah, they found the land as well, so they can just Yorion us out of this game. Unless this is something else. Equals 5. Oh, okay. So this is Kiki Jiki, which goes infinite with Restoration Angel. So yeah, we just die. Okay, well that was a tad unfortunate. I think we were doing fine. That Season Pyromancer draw was excellent for my opponent. Yeah, we needed to draw a bit more gas really. But let's see what we can do. So we don't want the Spell Bomb. Weird that they were playing swords, but we'll have Maelstrom Pulse. Do we want something like Engineered Explosives? We can't put it on 3, so no, I don't think we want that. Night's Whisper's a good option. They are kind of a mid-range deck, so do we want to cut some Thoughtseize effects? No, I think given that they're running like Restoration Angel and stuff, I think that's fine. I think we'll just go with that, make a small change. And try and get there. So we will play first. Been a good spread of decks in this league. Played against a lot of different stuff. The trouble with Hex Drinker is, you know, I think we're gonna keep this, but I'm wary of, you know, I don't really want to mulligan against this, but I am wary of playing a Hex Drinker, leveling it up to 4, and then it just getting Skyclave Apparitions, which is really annoying. Okay, Bauble my opponent. Stoneforge. Okay, so we're going to want to decay that. So we might as well... We can't level this up all the way this turn. So we'll just play Treetop Village. Attack for 2. Okay, so my opponent... Oh yeah, of course, my opponent isn't actually drawing Stoneforge Mystic. They could have one in hand, of course. Yeah, Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, so we've got the push now. That's Batter Skull. Okay, that's a good draw. So we're just going to push here. Okay, and then we're going to play Dark Confidant, so that if my opponent has Skyclave Apparition, they have to choose which threat they want to hit. Looks like it is Skyclave Apparition. Yep. And they hit the Dark Confidant, which makes sense. Okay, so I think the Inquisition, if my opponent has a Restoration Angel. No Restoration Angel. Oh no, yeah, there is of course a Restoration Angel in my opponent's hand. So we'll take the Scavenging Ooze. We can't now... We can put a level on this, but do we want to attack? I think we do. We're happy, given that my opponent's got Restoration Angel in hand. I think that's fine. I mean, it's not ideal, but we've got the stuff to deal with some things that my opponent's doing. Wooded Foothills, sure. Bauble. I think we might just get Lurrus to hand now. I guess we'll have a look at what I'm drawing. See if that... We're drawing Scoos. So yeah, I think we'll just get Lurrus. And they're not going to attack into a Restoration Angel. We're fairly happy if my opponent's just flashing Restoration Angel for no value. Unless they now have Kiki Jiki, in which case we're really sad, but they'd have had to draw pretty well for that. And they haven't got a triple red either. So we know two of the cards in my opponent's hand. They could play Batter Skull here. There's a birds. Okay, that's not too bad. Mages of the Moon. because we've got 2 basics. I didn't expect Maze of the Moon, if I'm honest. But yeah, so yeah, we'll attack. Happy to attack here. And then I think we'll decay the Magus. Play Scavenging Ooze. I guess if my opponent rips exactly Kiki Jiki, they've got 1, 2. They still do. Oh no, they do have the extra mana now. We could push the birds, but I don't like that idea really. How much do we value Scavenging Ooze over? I think we have to trophy, because otherwise we can just lose on the spot. Yeah, it's going to trophy here. I think take the cautious approach. My opponent's got loads of mana anyway. I guess Yorion could become a problem. Batterskull, sure. And a Hierarch. So we've got a push for the germ. So yeah, let's play the Lurrus. Oh, we can't play Lurrus and Fatal Push. We could bob and push, or yeah, I think I'm okay with bob. And then okay, now the question is, do we want to wait for them to attack, or do I want to just push now? I think I'm okay. Like, if we get blown out by Veil of Summer, we get blown out by Veil of Summer, but this way we take less damage because they'll only attack this, and then we can Fatal Push here. Avoids the Exalted trigger. 1, 2, 3. So they can just play it again this turn, which is obviously annoying, but or they might just Yorion, I suppose, which does it for free. Oh, okay. Choosing a different line. Okay, Bob shows us a Goyf, a Field of Ruin. So Field of Ruin's okay. Yeah, lifelink on that's annoying. So I think we're just gonna play. Yeah, we can play Lurrus now. Play Bauble rather than casting anything else. We don't know what my opponent's finding. We could play Scavenging Ooze, but Goyf does hit a bit harder currently. I suppose, yeah, maybe that was wrong. Skews can start gaining us some life. Although we've got lifelinker of our own, so okay, so they're finding Utopia Sprawl. Yeah, obviously annoying that they shuffle that away now. Oh, it's got Vigilance as well, which is unfortunate. So what do we want to draw here? Push is fine. Yeah, Yorion's really bad actually, because then they can equip it, and that's actually lethal next turn. If they equip that with Batterskull. They get to draw a card as well. So Maelstrom Pulse here is nice. We are drawing 3 cards at the start of the next turn. So find a land from Bob, another land, and another Bob. Right, so that's not good. Because an equip here. Oh no, we can play Scoos. So let's play Mishra's Bauble. See what my opponent's drawing. Path to Exile, so we're going to want to Field of Ruin that away. Really. So if we field, we can then play Scoos and gain 1 life. But this would be a 9. But then, okay, but then we can gain some in upkeep. We don't know what we're drawing, but yeah, we need to shuffle away that Path to Exile. So let's get rid of this. Okay, and then yeah, we're gonna crunch him with the Goyf. And then play Scavenging Ooze. And play another Treetop Village. Pass the turn. I mean, we are dead to certain things here. Fatal Push is very nice. I think... what's my opponent found? It's not Chord of Calling, is it? Oh no, it's just equipping. Okay, sure. So that's okay. So it's an 8. We could push the Noble Hierarch. So if we push Noble Hierarch, would we rather do that or gain a life? I think we'd rather gain a life, because it puts a counter on the Scoos as well. So 9, 10. Okay, so we'll eat their Restoration Angel. Can't block that. So we go to 1. Opponent could have found Lightning Bolt. Okay, they didn't. Okay, so in response to Bob's trigger, we're going to eat some more creatures here. Gain some life. There's nothing in our deck CMC 3, so we're safe to go with that. Thoughtseize, that's a dead draw. Another Fatal Push is always welcome. Although, aren't we just dead now to this Yorion? Let's see what we're drawing next turn. Blooming Marsh, okay, so that's no good. So we can gain 1, 2 life with Scoos, plus 3 here. We can gain 2 with Scoos. What if we push attack? Push here, attack with everything. Oh, that's got lifelink, so it's not going to matter. Yeah, Yorion wielding a Batterskull is very difficult for our deck to handle. We know we've just got to land on the top. We can gain 2 life from Scoos, plus 3 is 5, 6, 7. So we can get up to 7, so just shy of that. If we push attack, that's no good. Yeah, I mean, we'll make my opponent play it out, I suppose. But yeah, we're dead here. Unfortunate way to finish up the league. We were 3-0 going into the fourth game, but narrow loss to Titan, and now a pretty decisive loss to Yorion. He's gonna dream crush us. Maybe Assassin's trophying that. Yeah, that's just over. Assassin's trophying that Restoration Angel was maybe premature, but there we go. We still got the 3 and 2. Yeah, the deck did feel pretty good. It was just against those sort of bigger mana stuff that struggles, but that's always the case. I hope you guys did enjoy that. Please do subscribe to the channel if it's something you enjoyed. And yeah, see you again soon, hopefully, for some more mid-range action. Right, cheers.